we'll be on.
All right then.
All
Okay.
right.
Pop quiz. Are you exactly where you want to be at work, in social circles, in life? Or maybe a better question is, could you be? The answer, without a doubt, is yes. I'm Barbara M. Littles, and I help entrepreneurs connect the dots in business and life to negotiate best outcomes. Today, I've put what I've learned in life to work helping entrepreneurs show up, grow up, speak up, power up, and go up. I'm a seasoned speaker, coach, and attorney negotiator with 25 years experience working with business and entrepreneurs. And now I'm bringing all of that expertise to you through live video streams and other digital platforms. Are you ready? It's time to develop your strategy to manifest the life you have in mind. It won't happen by default. It will happen by design. To find your purpose by design today, sign up to receive daily insight emails at barbaramlittles.com.
Hello, everyone. I see you all are coming in. Come on in tonight. Look, I had a little bumpy ride here, but come on in tonight because we're getting ready to land. We're going to land in the UK, in the United Kingdom tonight, and I don't want you all to miss it. So come on in. Come on in. Let me see that you're in. Come in. As you come in, say hello. Tell us where you're from, where you're tuning in from. Even though I may know you, tell me where you're tuning in from, so everybody else will know where you're coming in from. But come on in tonight. I have a treat for you tonight. Hi, Darlene. Good evening. Nice to have you tonight. Come on in, guys. I see you on there, so just go ahead and put your name in. Tell us where you're from. Let StreamYard know where you are. Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, you're right down the road from me, Darlene. I'm in West Virginia. You're not that far. So you all come on in. I have a treat for you tonight. Listen, it tried to storm here a little while ago, and I thought that we would lose power and I would have to reschedule this. And I said, not tonight, because I'm getting ready to land in London. And there's something going on in London tonight. So it is going to be powerful. This woman that you're going to hear from tonight is absolutely powerful. So you all come on in. And we'll give you about another 60 seconds, and then we're going to get started. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hi, Ronaldo. I'll tell you, that Baltimore, that DC area, they're in the house tonight. Come on in. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have been doing this series of women leading around the world. And I thought about, okay, I need to go to the UK. But who am I going to talk to in the UK? And I thought, Chipo. Ooh, I had heard this woman, not a lot, but you know how you hear someone, and hi, Kristen. You know how you hear someone and you think, oh, there's some depth there. Hi, Destiny. I want to hear some more. And so this is why she's here tonight. Hi, Shanita. So women, I want you to be excited. You know, the purpose of doing Women Around the World is for us to understand as women that we are connected no matter where we live and where we are. I told everybody that's been on, I have trips planned. After COVID, I'm going to London. I'm going to see Chipo.
Come on.
That's right. And you all can get on the boat. So I'm going to get started tonight because I want to make sure we don't miss any time with this woman. I want to introduce you all tonight to Chipo Nyandoro-Kunzvi. And she is absolutely fabulous. Hi, Jeanette. She's absolutely fabulous. We have got to encourage each other as women. You know, it doesn't take anything away from men. I thank God for all the men that are coming on because we've had men that come on each week. But I want to introduce her and I want to have her say hello and greet you all tonight. Chipo, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And welcome everybody to the UK. Welcome to London.
Yes. She welcoming us to London. And so usually when I talk to people, I have people on. I usually talk to them only for a few minutes because I kind of want the element of surprise, even for myself. So tonight, I'm taking notes. As you all are taking notes, I'm taking notes too, because I want to learn. So Chipo, tell us who is Chipo? Who are you?
Who's Chipo?
Yeah.
I'm Chipo. Here I am. So I'm Chipo. The name Chipo means gift. So I was born in Zambia in 1974. That was 46 years ago. But grew up in Zimbabwe. I came to the UK in 1999. So I've been here in the UK for over 20 years that I've been in the UK. Chipo is a girl who has beaten all odds. And when I say beaten all odds, I'm talking about right from my birth. When my mother was pregnant with me, I had a bigger sister who was only an infant then. She was about 9 or 10 months when my mother was pregnant. And on Valentine's Day in 1974, when my mother was carrying me, the maid that was looking after my baby sister, my elder sister, put her on a counter. And when she was looking away, my sister fell. She hemorrhaged and she died. So Valentine's Day has never been a Valentine's for anyone in the family. We've watched our family, my mom and dad mourn, and we've also taken on that custom. But where I'm coming from is my mom was so traumatized, but I survived the pregnancy. She could have lost that pregnancy. And roll on, I was born in October. Roll on, a couple of years later, we are living. I've also been left behind with the maid. My mom and dad have gone over to work, and all of a sudden, a bomb went off. Literally within the area where we lived. I was barely 4, and what my mom says is that what happened is I was playing with the little girl from next door, and I got attracted to a cat. So I guess the cat got attracted. No, the cat actually picked up the vibrations. So when the cat was fleeing, what I did is I ran after the cat. And literally seconds later, the whole block, the bomb set off. I'm the only survivor in that block.
You?
I am.
Oh, now Chipo, I hold on. We cannot. No. We cannot move past that right now. You're the only survivor in that block.
Yeah.
So as we talk tonight, we know that God has purpose for everybody's life.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
But he has specific purpose and reason that you're still here.
Yes.
Because everybody else in that block died.
Everybody else died. I did not die.
Except for you.
Except for me.
Go ahead.
I didn't pick up that until much later on in life. But
Wow.
I've been told that there's something about me. I've been told that the name I was given was because I am a gift. I was gifted to my parents when they had lost something. The name, my surname, Nyandoro-Kunzvi, Nyandoro means river. And Kunzvi means crown.
Wow.
Because we are crowned. We are the chief of our tribe. But in life, as I grew up, my mom is the first Black pharmacy technician in Zimbabwe in 1979. So we moved away from Zambia and we went to live in Zimbabwe. That's where my dad is originally from. And yes, my mom got her first job. She was the first Black pharmacy technician in the country.
Wow.
So yes, I have a lot to live up to.
you have a legacy.
I do.
That was set before you.
That was set before me.
And you have an example of a strong woman in your mom.
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah. So
go ahead. So tell us, what are some of the lessons that you learned growing up as a child? Things that maybe your parents said to you that you carried. You may not even have understood it then, but you've carried it even to this very day.
Wow. Values and integrity. My mom and my dad are the epitome of values and integrity. They live by what they say. And when I was young, you almost don't like it, if that makes sense.
Right, yes.
But today I am that spitting image. I actually look at myself and say, oh gosh, I moved into these people. I actually become these people. But I thank God for them showing me what values and what integrity is. My dad taught us to set values. He taught us to be integral, be truthful along your journey. Because when you're truthful, you don't lose anything. And it's not then hard to repeat what you've said. if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And you're always free. You're always free. That's just it. So you walk in freedom. You walk in freedom. And that's what my father taught me. And my mom, the same thing. My mom is a gentle spirit, a very gentle spirit, but one of integrity. And my mom, even with the best job within the country, my mom was well paid. My mom was an entrepreneur.
Wow.
She never rested. So she dibbled and she dabbled in a lot of things. I have such a big skill set because my mom told me you never know what you need at a particular time.
Ooh, I like that. Somebody write that down. You never know what you need at a particular time. I think that's wonderful because sometimes now people are like, well, I don't need that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to know how to do that. I'm not interested in that. Tell me how that has played a role in your life. Because you said it has a lot to do with just, you have skill set now because of that.
Yes, Barbara. I've got soft skills. I've got hard skills. And I even have what you would call vocational skills. So my mom taught me how to knit, how to sew, how to do tie and dye. And I can tell you that in a season a few years ago, 2017, when I had nothing in my well, no income was coming in, I actually started to do tie and dye and made money out of it.
Thank God for Mom.
And I was taught this when I was only 10 or 11.
Wow.
But look at how that skill set then had to come into play. I was actually able to put food on the table because I was taught to do something.
Wow. Wow. So in that message, as we do things, you know, I'm trying to, we have 2 daughters, they're adults, and I try to pass on, you know, what you know.
Yeah.
And how has that affected you and how you interact and engage with other people?
Oh, once you start learning or watching an entrepreneur earlier on in your life, you start to see that the first skill you gain is communication. So in order to sell, you must be able to speak about the product. This is what I'm selling. This is what this product does. It's good for you because of.
I love it. I love it.
You learn negotiation.
Absolutely. You know that's my thing.
You're going to learn to negotiate because you've got to haggle the price up or down. You want to make sure you get the best price.
The best price. The best price.
So, but then again, my mother taught me we don't just sell because we want to sell. If you're going to sell, you're selling something that's a quality product. It's something that you yourself would buy. It's something that you yourself would use. So don't sell rejects. Don't do rejects.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't want to get a reject.
So that sounds like really do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Definitely. Yes. In fact, do unto others more than you do unto yourself.
Absolutely. I always say do unto others as you want God to do unto you. Because he does the best, right?
Definitely.
That is so awesome. So so tell us what you were like. Tell us what you were like as a young girl. I always like to, you know, we're going to see the adult, but what were you like as a young girl?
Oh my God, I'm still the same. I need to tell you. If you had my mom here, she would tell you, oh my gosh, this child isn't grown up yet. You know, but that's who I am. That's who I am. And I love me. That's who I am. I was a little fiery child, full of life. A tomboy, actually. So I was daddy's girl. Yeah. I learned to appreciate my mom later on in life. In my 20s was when I started to appreciate my mom. Say, okay, actually, you know what? This is mom. You know, she's got a bit of class. I could actually have a chat with her. I was daddy's girl. My dad literally was the one that, you know, pushed forward things about education, about values, pushing us in terms of just excelling in everything we did. You know, I learned to get under the bonnet of the car and, you know, fix the car. I used to do that with my dad. So just wonderful. And learning about life and traditional values, you know, what life is about. My dad was very good at that. So yeah, I was a tomboy.
Oh,
you were likely to find me in the circle or ring where boys were. I used to fight as well.
Not you.
I did.
Listen, Chipo. You know, I knew we connected on a certain way because I was a tomboy too.
Oh, there you go. You see?
Oh, look, I was
spirits.
All the boys wanted me on their baseball team because I could hit a ball, I could catch a ball, I could field the ball. You know, jump a fence. I mean, I was, you know, that was it. So I had to learn the girl side. But tell us about because dads are really important.
Yeah.
If for those of us who are blessed to have fathers in our lives, or someone in our life who, stepped into that role.
Yeah.
Tell us as a young girl, though, take us to a conversation that you may have had with your dad that just sticks with you. That was maybe a life lesson or something that he said to you as a young girl or a young woman that that has just really been instrumental in your life.
If I think of my dad passed on in 2012. We lost him to a diabetic coma. But my dad has always said to me, my child, you are the best. You are the best. There's 5 of us in our family. I'm the eldest of the 5. But each and every one of us, number 1 to 5, he has always told us that we are the best. Wow. And because we are the best, we did the best. We wanted to make sure that dad and mom were happy. So we pushed to do the best.
Wow. So you lived up.
We had to, yes, because I believed it. And even today, even when I go and I buy something, I will get the best because I understand
that you are the best.
Because I'm the best.
I love it. I love it.
My dad was really strict, a very strict man, and short-tempered. But as we were growing and as we were growing together, we realized that talking was better than shouting. And as we talked more, I used to get much more information from much deeper and richer information. But I also listened more, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And he started to listen to me.
Wow.
So my dad also started to pick up. I would say to him, Dad, I sense this, or Dad, I feel this. And my dad would take attention to that.
Wow.
At a very young age, he'd take attention to that.
So you have these parents that are integral. They're teaching you integrity and values. Your dad's teaching you are the best. Yeah. And so you've moved through life. And so we know now what that foundation is. So when we get to talk about what Chipo's doing, we're going to know that there's some values there and quality, and you are the best, right?
Yes.
So tell us about, because you've lived several places, right? Tell us about London, because you said you've been in London for a while, for 20 years.
For 20 years now, yeah. Oh, London. London is like what your New York is to America.
I'm originally from New York.
There you go. So you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying.
Yes.
London is the capital of the United Kingdom. It's such a vibrant hub, cosmopolitan. There's no kind of ethnicity that you would not find. Every ethnicity is represented in London. You find every age, every culture. If there's any place that you want to study and get to know people, London is the place.
Wow.
London is the place, because you start to get to know how people how people think, how people react. And each and every culture is different in its own right. But you start to respect these cultures because you're understanding how they are. And you now know how you can actually begin to speak with them.
Wow.
To network with them. This is the biggest thing I've learned from London.
Wow.
It's such a vibrant cosmopolitan. I mean, you know London. You know about Buckingham Palace. We got it here. We have our palaces. We got our football teams. I'm not a football fan. I love Formula One, so I like fast cars. And I love basketball. We only have a few teams that play basketball. But yes, talking about representation, I'm talking about culture, I'm talking about tradition, I'm talking about life. It's such a hub. But not only just that, it's really big in the terms of banking, the economic structure. It's a central hub for that. So in terms of money flowing through, London is also the place to be. If I wanted to tell you about the pound versus the dollar, I'm slightly a bit over you guys, but
yeah.
United Kingdom, of course.
I'm
the city we live in.
Oh yes, I know my peeps from the UK, boy. I'll tell you each time. And so how you came up? Tell us about your young adulthood and moving into womanhood, and how did you get into business or what you're doing now?
Oh, Barbara. Life is a journey.
Yes.
And thank God that life is a journey. So yes, I had my values that I told you about earlier on. But as I was growing up, I also wanted to experience certain things. And I lost the wayside. I did. I lost the wayside. But I needed to lose the wayside because that's the only way you find yourself.
Yes.
I
Stop there, Chipo, because I want you to speak to women in particular who have gone off just a little bit on their own. You know, I grew up a certain way, but, you know, I kind of veered off.
Yeah.
And I want you to speak to them about that not being the end of your life. Whatever the situation is, whatever as you veered off from what you may have grown up with, whatever value you learned, and you had certain experiences in your life that may not have been great. But I want you to speak to them tonight about the value of that and taking the lessons from that and getting up and moving on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've just said it, but what I want to say to you is life is life. That's what it is. It is life, but it is a lesson. And yes, we do veer off because we need to. I think it's part of the process of learning. If I had stayed in my cocoon, if I can say that, because my parents shielded me from a lot of things.
Yes.
They really did. There was nothing I lacked. If you know, I had a driver that would drive us from school to home. And even when I was working, making my own money, my dad's driver would come and pick me up, or my dad would pick me up. So there were certain things that I hadn't experienced within the world that I could see from the other side. So when I'm sitting, I can see my friends telling me they're going to parties, they're going to rave, they're going to have a bit of fun time. They've got boyfriends. I was 18 when I had my first kiss.
Hey, Dad was looking out, boy.
You know, that's the age I was. But even in so saying, because sometimes you're shielded, or because you think that the grass looks greener on the other side, when you do fall and you do experience these things, know that it was just a lesson. Because that very lesson is the very thing that you can use to pull the next person up.
Wow.
So you got to stand, because if you don't stand, how do you then help your neighbor? How do you help your friend? How do you help the other person that you will come across that's going through the same thing that you're doing?
Wow.
That's what life is. It's a cycle. And we all meet people at certain stages, and you think, I've been through that. You can only help someone to heal when you understand that pain. There's a difference in saying, I feel your pain, but when you know it, you know how to drag the person out of that pain.
Woo! You are so right. Hi, Desiree. Hi, Gary. Nice to see you tonight. Sean.
Yeah.
You know what? There is a difference. There is a difference between, you know, I feel and I know.
Yeah.
When you go to the school of I know, that's a whole different ball game.
It's a different ball game.
Because I know can speak to the person who's in it, who's going through it, who thinks they're not going to come out of it. The person who is from the I school of I know, you're right. They can reach in and help you come out. And help you come out.
There's a difference, and there's a difference because there's a way in which we speak. Our voice has a way of, our voice cuts through. So, Barbara, if I understand your pain and if I speak to you, I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to the pain. And when you feel that I'm talking to the pain, that's when you resonate and you connect with me.
Well, you know what? And Chipo, that's so true. And a lot of times when people are even working with other people, sometimes we want to hide our pain. We want to hide.
Vulnerable.
Yes, because people know. Okay, now listen, you've been through something in your life. Okay, you know, I have a connection with your mom because I carried a baby for 9 months and the baby lived for 21 days and died. You can look at that from the outside and say, wow, but when you've lived it.
Yes, there's a difference.
When you lived it. See, I can look in a woman's face and I can connect with her pain.
You can.
And so it's a different walk, it's a different journey. So I think the important thing tonight is for people to understand it's not for us to go through life and hide all our pain.
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't.
Because it wasn't just for us.
Yeah. It's an injustice if we do that. It's an injustice to hide that pain. Because it's an injustice because that pain was for you. It was for you. It was almost a stepping stone on the ladder towards success.
Wow.
If you have passed that stepping stone, you haven't failed. You've learned. So who are you to keep that lesson that you've learned to yourself?
Wow.
You're doing others an injustice.
Wow. You're doing others an injustice.
Yeah. And what God is doing is God is shaping you to be truthful enough, vulnerable enough to share and to help someone out of that pain.
Wow. Because that was, that was the purpose for the pain. It grows you.
Yes.
If you allow it to, it grows you. Get the lesson.
Yes.
Feel the pain.
Feel the pain.
Move on.
Yes.
And then help somebody else.
Yes. Yes.
Help somebody else.
Definitely. And that's what we're designed for. We've been designed to do that. We're not a standalone entity. We've been designed to work with others. And not just to work with others, but we need to make others succeed.
Okay, tell us about that. I love that. Not to just work with others, but to have others succeed. Tell us about that.
Barbara, if you succeed, I've succeeded. If a community succeeds, a generation has succeeded. If that generation has succeeded, a legacy has been left. And I know that a lot of people right now, we're still carrying on what granddad and grandma used to say they didn't like, or, if it hadn't been for your neighbor next door, we wouldn't be in this situation. These things that people have been carrying for generations have hindered them from progressing and from succeeding. We were never created to be prosperous by ourselves. We were never created to succeed by ourselves. It's a community success.
And let me tell you something. I have had these wonderful women, and one of the themes that is really emerging among women around the world is this issue of community. Research shows that women do community really well, although people say, oh, I don't know about women. But so this community piece, so when people say to you, well, I don't know, I'm looking at her and see what she has, she can do that better than I can, or I'm not going to share because, she may go further than I do. What do you say to them?
What do I say to such a person? I would say to them that you failed dismally. Because at the end of the day, what matters is when we lie down and when we say we're going to rest, it's what have I done? How many lives have I impacted? How many lives have I changed? And if you notice, people who are usually very much alone, on their deathbed, they find company. They ask for company. Because at their deathbed, they begin to realize that actually I've played the life game wrong.
Ooh,
played it wrong.
And one of the things we don't want to do, Chipo, is play the life game wrong.
We don't want to do it wrong. We don't want to do it wrong. Yeah.
And we have an opportunity at any given point to change course.
Definitely.
And that's why I'm asking you tonight, because we need to help some people change course.
Definitely. And they need to change course.
Wow.
They need to change course.
Wow.
They need to, because the book of Esther says it's for such a time as this.
Yes.
I know that a lot of people have really been down and out because of this COVID thing. It really came in and it smacked people. It did. It came, and literally, we were told there's this invisible enemy that's come in. And then we were told, everybody, you're not allowed to go out. You can't go out. And it has caused a lot of pain. And I'm talking about grief. We're talking about death here. Some people have been unable to go in and hold a loved one's hand or to be there to say goodbye to them. That's hard. We're talking about people who've lost jobs. Some are on furlough right now. We're talking about people who are going through a process of battling within their minds. They've got depression. Things are happening. It's not just them. We're talking about their children as well, who have been confined to 4 walls.
Wow.
For almost 4 or 5 months. What's going on in those children's heads? So if we do not want to be a change agent or to effect change, what are we here for? What are we here for?
Wow.
That's the question.
What are we here for?
Yeah. And we've all heard that adage where it says the two most important dates in your life.
Yes.
The first is when you were born, and the second is when you find out why you were born.
Mark Twain. That's right. That's right.
We gotta find out why we were born.
And that's the beauty, Chipo, of the journey.
Yes.
That's the beauty of the journey.
Yes.
So tell us, how are women leading in London? And tell us, what have you found out on your journey?
Oh, wow.
On your way.
So women in London, women in leadership, and I love research. If you give me a topic, I need to research it.
I love it. I love it.
That's the kind of person I am. I want to dig in. I want to find out what's going on and why it's going on. Critically appraise things. At the moment, I'm studying business management and leadership. So I had to write a research paper, and my topic, which I did, was on women in leadership. So inequality.
Now, see, I didn't even know that before I asked her. I didn't even know that.
There you go, inequality. And I wanted to look at this because when we think about women, from time began, if we look in America, we talk about the slave trade and how people were oppressed and they were segregated. A lot of things that are happening today are a consequence of how things started. Women in leadership, in terms of UK, the proportion is still very low. There's legislation in place and there's laws that are coming up to try and encourage this. They're updating the Equality Act, just to try and beef up things. But the ratio, the proportion of women who are leaders within the United Kingdom is low. If you look in Parliament, for example, we've got quite a low percentage. If you look in executive boards or senior management roles, it's still low. And that's what the research is showing. It's showing this. And then when you start looking into the underlying, so for everything there's a cause.
Yes.
Underlying cause.
Yes.
When you start looking at it, you start seeing that the main basis for lack of women in leadership, and I dare to say not just UK, I'm talking about worldwide, is education. It starts at that level. It starts at that level. And when I'm talking about education, I'm not talking about sitting behind a desk in elementary school or primary school. I'm talking about the lack of mentorship, coaching.
Come on now, Chipo.
At that age, because if you think about it, if we traditionally, women have been known to be a housewife, it's a house role. Yes? If we go backwards, women had no say in terms of making economic decisions, legal decisions, or financial decisions. And up until today, that same mindset has traveled through generations. And we still have it today.
Wow.
We still have it today. And what if we continue to have that same mindset where even if we look at the patriarchal male system that's been built, because originally women were designed to be at home. That's how the men understood it. So the system that was built still, and I'm talking about the same system that we're walking in, the same system when we are going into interviews, is still built on a patriarchal system that still favors men.
Wow. I want to go back to something that you said because I think is so critical. Because when you first mentioned education, of course, I'm thinking that you meant education in terms of hierarchical education and secondary education. But this piece is so critical because mentorship and coaching is really what helps people to advance.
Definitely.
And so tell us how mentorship and coaching, people say, well, I have a doctorate degree or I have a master's degree. But without mentorship and coaching, Chipo, it's not the same. So tell us how, when you have the fundamentals, but when you add mentorship and coaching to it, what does that do?
Wow. It elevates you. It actually allows you, the word I want to use is, it ups your game. If that makes sense.
Ups your game. Yes, it does.
Ups your game. Yeah. You become a lean, mean working machine. But there's something that happens because you realize who you are. It's not who you were created to be by an educational system. It's who I am.
Wow.
It's who I am.
I love that, because coaching, and I think a lot of people don't understand coaching, and coaching and mentorship go really deep.
Yes.
Because like you said, our experiences in life, whether they be good or bad, sometimes trains us, even the education, into this is who you are. But when you get into a coaching situation, where there's someone there asking you the right questions.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have to go deep within yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got to start answering those questions.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole new ballgame.
Indeed. Indeed. So if we look at the girls, let's just look at the typical girls that are in elementary school right now. The first thing we notice now, well, now things are changing, because as women are getting older and as we are becoming more empowered, we are beginning to tell our daughters that they are different.
Yes.
That they can do anything. They can also go to space. Before, if we look at maybe 20, 30 years ago, the moms used to tell the girls, you need to wear pink. You're pretty in pink. You know, be careful of your nails. You know, that's kind of, this is the way they were brought up.
Absolutely.
So they were brought up to almost become wife material. You know, they can go through the school system, but after school, then what? Yeah? Because what happens is, if you notice, a lot of women, if we're looking back 40 or 50 years, a lot of women were studying subjects that would not put you in leadership positions. If you were ever to be elevated or promoted, you could end up being in middle management.
Now, you know what? You're the first person to make that point.
Yeah.
But that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
Excellent point.
Yeah. You end up in middle management. So how do you step up from middle management into leadership?
Come on, Chipo. Come on.
It can only be through what we call personal development.
Absolutely. And you know, we are students. We love personal development.
Indeed.
I know people a lot of times say, oh, I'm tired of hearing about personal development, et cetera. Yeah. But when we understand the power of it, because Chipo, I know even going to law school and going out into corporate America, and I'm sure this is true with a lot of people. You know, you get a great job, and, you know, they train you and send you different places. But we are responsible for what we learn, and we are responsible for learning and developing ourselves.
Yes.
And I think even people who are in professional arenas don't recognize that.
Definitely.
Because they drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
You know, my company, I work for this company. I work for this Fortune 500 company. That's great. Okay? But what are you doing personally to develop yourself?
Definitely. And don't forget, let's just look at this season here that we've just been talking about, this COVID season. Many a business have closed down. So what do you think that very person who told you that I work for the Fortune 40 or FTSE 30 company, what are they doing now? Because competition is going to be fierce out there. And whoever will take the cut, whoever will get the job, is the one who can communicate better, the one who's understanding situations better, and the one who's confident within themselves.
Now you and I talked about this because we were talking about this period of COVID. Yeah. And I think that you have acknowledged and you've talked about very well the things that are happening and have happened during this period in terms of loss, all the loss that has occurred. But there's also another side of COVID that you and I kind of talked about.
Yes.
Tell us about that for you, because when we talked about this, we were on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us the other side. You know, there's been tragedy, there's been loss, there's been loss of jobs, loss of friends, loss of family. But what is that other side that we may be missing in the course of this COVID?
Wow. So I'll tell you, every New Year's Eve, so before the fireworks happen, what I do is I pray. And I pray into the new year. And I ask God for direction. Lord, what is your direction for me with regards to this year? We have the corporate direction that will come from the church, but what is the direction that is for me? That's the question I will ask Daddy. And he literally said to me, I would like you to invest in your personal development.
Wow.
I'd like you to invest in your personal development. And it didn't make sense then. But what I did is I just said, okay, I've understood. And he said, you need to learn. This is the season for learning. This was January.
This was January of 2020.
Of 2020. And I can tell you today, if my mother and my brother and my sisters were there, they would tell you that on the 18th of January, because that's the day my dad passed on, we sit together as a family. We just talk about plans. And I said to them, I am encouraging you guys to do something. You've got to learn. God says, just learn. It's time to develop yourself. And lo and behold, that's what we did. We just went in and started to learn. And if you really look at this now, Barbara, during the COVID season, we had institutions such as Harvard, Cambridge, Eton offering free courses.
Come on now, Chipo.
Free courses.
Listen, we had Fortune 500 companies, programs that they charge $10, $20, $40, $50,000 for, offering those courses free.
Yes. So tell me, that is God not alive still? So if people had missed this window of opportunity of just developing yourself in a time where the Lord has said to you, I'm putting you in your own space. You don't have to worry about waking up early in the morning and hustle and bustle. Just focus. Focus on developing yourself. And sis, would we have known that even now as we're speaking, that companies have closed, jobs have been lost? There is, and I believe this, I firmly believe this, because even this month of August, when I pray, because every month I pray, and I said, Lord, what is it that, and he said, what is it that I need to do August? And he said, you will work hard. And he said, you will work like you've never worked before.
Whoa, okay, Chipo. So
and I can attest to you that I have.
Wow.
Like you've never, but he said to me, what I want you to do is as you're working, I want you to now position yourself. Okay.
I want to stop there for a minute because I want you all to really take in what she said. Because when Chipo and I talked about this, we had heard the same messages. When we prayed, we heard the same messages from God. He's not talking to just us.
Yeah.
He's talking to those who have an ear to hear.
Amen.
Instead of just doing what we've always done, and trying to figure out how to do what we've always done. He's saying, I'm getting ready to do a new thing. and I'm getting ready to do a new thing.
And I'm providing.
Come on. And 2021 is a prepared year for a prepared people.
Come on, Barbara.
So, Chipo, you stop, and I want you to continue this thought on positioning yourself. Because I want people to understand that we're into August. We're almost at the end of August.
Yes. Yeah,
there's some things you have to do in the rest of this year. Come on,
we do.
Tell us.
So positioning now. We're now shifting. And listen, this is what the Lord says. You position yourself. He said, because what's happening is this season is coming to a close. And what's happening is now there's a pool of people who have now realized that they don't need to be in an office 9 to 5. There's a pool of people that are now beginning to understand that personal development is important. There's a pool of people that have gone through such turmoil and pain, they need someone to talk to. They need someone to help them, to hold their hand and to lift them up. And if you don't position yourself when they're looking for you, they will not find you.
Oh, now tell us about the looking for. Because I really believe that. I believe that you're found when you are prepared.
That's it.
And sometimes, Chipo, people find us and we're not prepared. And the time to be prepared is not when opportunity comes. It's too late. It's too late to get prepared.
It's too late. Yeah. It's too late.
So talk to us about this repositioning and being prepared and people finding us. Because we don't have to go around running all over the place to find people. We just need to get prepared.
We just need to get prepared.
And be positioned.
So this preparation is, are you networking? Is there certain people you need to be working with? Find them, right? It doesn't mean that you need to look at what you've done and say, Lord, is this what I need to continue doing? Because I've been asked to reshape. I'm in a process of reshaping, realigning. I'm rewiring.
That's my girlfriend. I don't know if she's on tonight. That's her word, rewiring.
I'm rewiring at the moment because the Lord has said to me, the people that are coming need you.
Mm.
When I'm talking about you, I'm not just talking about me, myself. I'm talking about us.
Yes.
We need it.
Yes.
And I was giving the example of girl children in school with lack of mentorship. There's many a place where we can start. That's the repositioning. That's the realigning. Maybe you might need to work with girls now, helping to lift them up because you're a parent and you know how it feels. Maybe you need to work with someone in middle management. Maybe you need to work with that top exec that has been so tied down with so much work. She needs to just understand that there is freedom at the end of that chain.
Wow, Chipo. This is so critical because it's, like I said, we're gonna go into September, and then we're gonna go into this last quarter of the month. Of the year.
Yeah,
and it is so critical for those that have not made the pivot.
Yeah.
You need to make the pivot now.
They need to jump on the bandwagon.
Because come on, now, Chipo, we have to tell them how to jump on. Because some people say, I don't know how to do that. First of all, you've got to get out of your comfort zone.
Straight away.
You can't stay the place that you've always been.
Yeah.
Doing the things you've always done with the people you've always done it with.
No,
and I'm not suggesting you throw people away. But Chipo, tell us how important the people you surround yourself with in this season, how important is that?
Wow. I'll just use two words here. Destiny shapers. If you want your destiny to be shaped, you need to find a destiny connector.
What do they look like? What does the person look like, Chipo?
It looks like you, Barbara.
and you.
And me.
They say, how do I find that person? How do I find those people? How do I recognize them?
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, it's going to be really pretty simple. I'm a Christian, and I'm proud. That's who I am. And I pray. And I believe that the Lord in season has led me to people. He has led me to people. Barbara, I have been stalking you for years.
No, you haven't.
No, I have. I'm confessing this on TV now. I'm confessing this. But I have. But what I'm trying to say is, who would have known that for such a time as this, that I would have been connected with somebody who also has the same vision and has heard the same message?
Wow.
You can only be walking along that road together in order to find that person.
Absolutely.
So once you do get out of that comfort zone and you start walking, you will find that the same way as north attracts south, that magnet, the people that are supposed to be there with you will be there. They will be there.
You said something critical. You have to start walking.
You have to start walking. Yeah.
You can't wait and sit in a place and say, God, send them to me.
No.
He said
no.
he healed them as they went.
Yeah, he did.
So as you go,
you will find along the way.
Yes, you will.
You've got to walk. So you've got to get with the program. Listen. And you've got to pray more, because this is important. We let's not lose focus. Pray more. Yeah. And I think us as women have been psyched. We've been kitted up with the sixth sense. Listen to that. The Holy Spirit is saying something to you, and move. It sounds frightening. It is. It's not an easy season, but do it anyways.
Do it anyway.
Do it afraid.
Do it anyway.
Do it afraid.
I found that I've been more out of my comfort zone this season.
Yes.
Than ever. But it has been the most productive.
Yes.
The most creative.
Come on.
The most pressure.
Yes.
Woo. But you can't get the oil without pressure.
Woo.
So I want you all to stop running from the oil. Yeah. Stop running from the pressure. Yeah. To get olive oil, to get that anointing, you've got to have pressure.
It's got to be pressed.
It's pressed down.
Pressed. Yeah.
Let's press down, girl. Shake it together.
But then it come out pure.
Yes, it does. And so it's the right pressure in the right place with the right people.
Exactly. Yeah.
With the right people.
Yeah. No man is an island.
No man's an island. So tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're doing now.
So what I do is I'm sure now you guys know. So I do coaching and consultancy. I've got 20 years experience. My background is in systems analysis and design. So I love looking at systems. Yeah. Ooh. This is me. Literally. But yes, I understand systems and I help to build systems. So that's what I am. I'm a builder by nature. I'm an idea generator. If you get to people who know me, they'll tell you that I generate ideas. I can sit in a room and I'll listen to somebody and something will just ping. Say, have you ever thought of this? Could you do that? And that's it. It's just a turn or a shift, literally. I'm a business strategist. So it's that building, isn't it? Looking at what the person wants, needs, and then helping them to build something that becomes a legacy. I do leadership coaching, as you know, the John Maxwell team, and also with corporates. So just going through the leadership development scale. I work with people one-on-one, just to empower them, really. Start looking at, how they can set vision, how they can, move their lives to the next level is what I do. Values is really important for me. What are your values? And then start to live through your values, because when you live through your values, you live you. And it's not difficult to be attractive when you live your values.
Ooh. I love it.
Because people can see you.
Yes.
They can see you. So they'll take you because they can see you.
Wow.
Wow. Mindset, just working through mindset and working relationships. So yes, that's what I do.
So tell me, because you told me, you mentioned, you wouldn't tell me, so you're going to tell me tonight. You mentioned how critical your mom was.
Yes.
In getting you on this path that you had identified and wanted to be. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, my dad passed on in 2012. And I think for me, losing my dad at such a young age was really hard. And I started to almost reevaluate my life. I started to look at my life and I started to hear what he used to tell me when I was young. So as I said earlier, I veered off a path and I was doing my own things and things weren't working out. But losing him really allowed me to reflect. And when I started reflecting, I remembered what he was saying to me. And I started to realize who I was. So, I used to do a lot of church work, but people always used to say to me, you're very good at listening, you're very good at speaking, you're very good at speaking life and helping people. And I've noticed when I look at it right from when I was a young girl up until now, it's a gift I had. So I thought, right, I actually want to do this. I want to coach. I want to be a coach. And when I inquired, I wasn't able to pay for that money at that moment. I did not have that money. But I spoke to my mom. And I said, Mom, this is something I've really been passionate about doing. And she looked at me and she smiled. And she said, okay, my child, we'll pray about it. This is what she said, we'll pray about it. The next day, she then rang me and she said, I'm paying for this because this is who you are. She said, I'm so glad that you have found out who you are, my child. So where I am today is because someone invested in me. Someone believed in me.
Wow.
To be where I am today.
Wow.
And
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, it's the power of seeing gifts in someone. And maybe we are coaches, we are strategists, we are entrepreneurs. Can we see someone who we can invest in? Yes. Let's challenge ourselves to do something good for someone. I'm a product of that.
Absolutely. And we all are a product of someone investing, even if it's a word, whether it's time. Yes. And don't take that for granted.
No.
Don't take that for granted.
No.
Because I found this, Chipo, that there are moments of opportunity.
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of those moments of opportunity don't stay around forever.
No, they don't.
There's a window. Talk to us about the window the window of the moment, because that is critical. People say, "Oh, I don't want to do that now." Well, you were asking me about something last year. Tell us about the window and the importance of a moment.
Oh, wow. So even as I'm telling you right now that my mom invested in me, that was in 2017 that she invested in me. And the past 3 years, I've been going through a growth curve where I've been growing. That small window of opportunity has allowed me to become the best me, to be vulnerable, so that I can share that vulnerability with others and change other people's lives. I'm a better mother because of coaching. I'm a better friend, a better sister because of coaching. How can I not be thankful or appreciative of just a small gap where I said I decided that I want to be me?
Wow.
I want to be me.
And there's no better person to be but you.
No better person but
there
to be
isn't.
but me. Yeah.
Because the truth is, we struggle, I think, especially as women, because we are told who we're supposed to be.
Exactly.
And when we feel something different in our spirit, Chipo,
yes.
sometimes it's pushback. That's not who you're supposed to be.
Oh yeah, you can have that internal fight.
That's right.
Indeed. It's there.
Right. but when you follow that internal dialogue,
yes,
and you know it's from God, and you step into that place, you step into your moment.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. I'll tell people tonight, don't be afraid to step in a moment where you might be even scared of stepping into the moment with that person.
Yeah.
You know, that you may not feel qualified. You may not feel ready. Chipo, tell us about that. Have you ever had that feeling like, I don't know if I'm ready to step in the moment with that person, but I sure would like to, well, tell us about that. What do you do with that?
Definitely. Those moments come far and wide, because there are times you will walk in places where people are bigger than you. That's the truth.
You have to. Go ahead.
You have to do that, because you need to understand that you have a mandate. You've been given a mandate to go in and to change or to shape destinies. So you can walk in where a king is or a prince is. And I've walked in where big people are, and I'm talking about big advisors. And they've asked a question, and I have responded with me. As in, when I say with me, in spirit, I've responded in my character. I have not made myself lower or higher or at their level. I've responded as Chipo. And my response has been taken. To be then told that, oh, that actually is wise. And you think, was it wise?
Well, sometimes Chipo is, what did I say?
Like, I don't even remember what I said. But
what did I say?
Yes.
So
life is, I think, honestly, truthfully speaking, we will have our certificates, but life is actually that dash that we find when we see on a gravestone. When we look at a gravestone, it says Chipo was born October 8, 1974 and died on this day. There's a dash in between my birth date and my death date. Basically, what that dash is how did I live that life?
Yes.
It's what people are saying who are left behind to say, oh, actually, you know what? She helped me do this. Oh, Chipo did this. She said this to me. She did.
Absolutely.
It's not gonna be written. And if you notice, it doesn't on a grave. It doesn't talk about your work.
Absolutely.
What you did. It doesn't say Coach Barbara.
It doesn't.
It says Barbara Littles.
That's right. And
it doesn't.
Chipo, go ahead.
So we need to realize that that's who we are. It's not about title. It's not about position. It's about how we live that dash.
How we live that dash.
And how we live that dash is how it's the legacy we leave behind. What are people going to say about you? They should celebrate that you have changed their lives, not to celebrate that you have gone 6 feet under.
Woo! And Chipo, they should know that you have been here.
Yes.
And that you have made a difference.
You have left a mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because you have left that mark, you have elevated everything you touch.
Definitely.
Everything you touch. You have elevated everything you touch. There's something that's been in my spirit that's in line with what we're talking about tonight. And I've been speaking to women and men, but specifically to women, because tomorrow is Women Equality Day here.
Wow.
And it's about possessing your birthright.
Amen. Yeah.
Chipo, the things that we have a right to, not because we're entitled, not because of pride, not because of ego, not because of title, not because of position, but because of who we are.
Yes.
And it's important for us to find out what it is and possess our birthright.
Yeah. So I love what you said, Barbara. You have to. So usually when I travel, when I go home and I go to see Mom, I pass through Lusaka, which is the capital of Zambia. So we do a pit stop there and then we'll go to Zimbabwe. And every time I go there and the plane is there, I will pray that I have arrived in my land of birthright and receiving my blessings. Every year I do that.
Possess it.
I possess it. So because there is earthly blessings in the land where we were born.
Absolutely.
And if you don't claim them, you won't get them.
Okay, now, it's the hour is almost up. But this is so important what you said, because what it reminded me of, Chipo, is as an attorney, people used to come to me and say, Mom and Dad are gone, or whoever it was that passed on. I think they left something, but I don't know. Well, Chipo, if you don't know, you better ask somebody, because if you don't know, a lot of times you'll never find out. But sometimes whatever it is that we're supposed to have is there.
Yes.
We have just not accessed it, Chipo.
We haven't.
We have not possessed it.
Definitely.
You've got to possess it.
We got to do it. We got to do it.
And that requires us to move.
Yes. So wealth is there. Wealth is there.
Yes, it is.
And people are ready to give it. So we should understand that we're the best. We shouldn't shortchange ourselves.
Okay, Chippa, listen. You have got to talk to us about that, about the best. No, I'm very serious, because we can't just do anything.
No, we can't.
We can't just give anything.
No, we can't.
Talk to us. Close us out. First of all, tell us about doing the best and being the best. And then I want you to give the last words to our viewers for the night. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Barbara. So when we talk about the best, we're talking about pushing yourself until you can push yourself no more. You know what it's like when you've looked at a specific car, for example, and you say, this one is better than that. There's a criteria why you've said it's better than that one. And even if it was 10 or 50,000 pounds more, because you feel that it's better and you want it, you get it. So if you yourself understand best and know that best is good, best is everything, best costs.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah. Who are we not to then give the same service to others? We've got to operate from a place of excellence, because from excellence is where reputation comes. From excellence is where favor comes. From excellence is where consistency comes. And that's where your wealth and your legacy also follow.
Ooh, girl,
through best.
You have blessed me tonight. And I know I can see from the comments that you have blessed people on here tonight, Chippo. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna swing back around the world.
Okay, pilot.
I'm gonna swing back around the world. I think next week, I think next week we are in Kenya next week.
Wow.
But when I come back at the end, I'm going to have a group of women that I'm going to do a show with, and I'm coming back to pick you up in London, Chippo.
Come on, Barbara. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you, pilot.
Guys, thank you so much. Our journey in London is over for now, and I'm going to swing back around in September, and I'm going to have a group. And Chippo's going to be in that group, because powerfully these women have come individually. And collectively, I think that we have something that is going to rock the world. So I want to thank you tonight for being with us on women leading around the world. Next week, we will be in Kenya, and then we will go to Australia.
Oh, wow.
And I think after Australia, we will be in Guatemala.
Ooh.
And then we're coming back to the USA, and we're going to talk to women in the USA who are impacting the world. They are literally doing business all over the world.
Come on.
And so, Chipo, you'll be hearing from me. I'll be swinging the plane back around to pick you up.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you
Good
so
night,
much for
everyone.
inviting me. Thank
Good
you
night.
so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.